Christ. If anyone would come after me, the three things that they must do. A disciple of Christ has to do more than just confess Christ. They have to live the rest of their days in these three areas. First, they must deny themselves. They must come to the end of themselves so Christ can begin. As long as I'm shepherding myself, I'm dictating what I like, what I don't like, where I'm going, where I'm not going to go, what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do, I'm still not giving myself to Christ. And so if anyone's going to follow Christ, if anyone's going to follow after Jesus, if you're going to pattern the rest of your days like him, you must, number one, deny yourself. Your selfish, your self-centered inclinations that start with my likes and my dislikes, surrender them to Christ. This does not make God what we call a cosmic killjoy, that, oh, my life's going to be boring now. I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to build a big thing, and now I can't do it. You surrender your life to Christ, you'll have more. You'll go further in him. Your life will outlive the last of your days here. Do you know that it is appointed for each of us to die? Do you know that all of us have a date we know not of where we will lay down our life here on earth? It will come to an end. What then? We go to heaven, but what of us stays here? What of our testimony? What of our work? If you live your life surrendered to Christ, that all you do is for eternal purposes and not for the right now, to get, to have, to hoard, to hold for yourself. But if you start to live for the sake of eternity, that when you go to heaven, there'll still be some work through you being done on earth. But we got to start to deny ourselves the things of this world. Be like a piece of clay, even the one that was in the book of Jeremiah, that's on the potter's wheel. The potter is spinning that clay and he's forming that clay. And the potter's hand fails and that clay is scratched, is marred, is damaged. Imagine if that clay would then start to speak to the potter and says, I don't want to be a coffee mug. I want to be a bowl instead. I mean, it sounds laughable, it sounds silly, but that's how we live when we don't deny ourselves, when we don't give our lives over to Christ, and we insist on we're going where we're going to do what we say we're going to do, we're going to have it our way. We're like that clay who's telling Christ that we know better than he does how we should live our lives. He says, submit to me, deny yourself. Follow after me. I have a design for your life. How long? How old is it? It is since before the beginning of time. Before Christ spoke the words, let there be light, he already had a design for your life. Stop fighting the design. He called you to be holy. He called you to worship him. He called you to glorify his name. Not get a great career and build for yourself. Those things are great. If God has given them to you, then glorify him in them. Don't quit your job because you say, oh, you know, this message I heard on Sunday. Here's my two-week notice. Give yourself to Christ. Let your goals be his goals. Let your direction be his direction. He says, if any person, this is not a mystery here who he's talking about. He says, anyone. Ye first must die to ourselves. Apart from Christ, we are born in sin. We are shaped in iniquity. Apart from our relationship in Christ, in Galatians chapter 5, verses 19 to 21, the works of the flesh are evident. Apart from Christ, it is sexual immorality. Apart from Christ, it is sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions, envy, drunkenness, orgies, having orgies, and things like these. And he says, I warn you, as I've warned you before, these things shouldn't even be named about Christians. Sexual immorality in Christians? No. It's time to deny ourselves and give ourselves over to Christ. I'll say it this way, men, it matters not what our wives did or didn't do. Wives, it matters not what's been said or done. Deny yourself. Give yourself over to Christ. Follow Christ and watch what he does in your soul. The disciple of Christ is one that surrendered his or her life to him, and these things are foreign to him. He says, not only should you deny yourself, come to the end of yourself. You cannot be in relationship with Christ until you get out of yourself. Deny yourself. Stop living for self. Don't tell any longer yourself about your plans and your dreams and God, tell me, show me, lead me, teach me, guide me into what you have for me. Use me to your glory.